Now for the JRPG that I'm looking forward to, this is one of those weeks where I'm going to be talking about a JRPG that I would look forward to, and pretty much what I want to talk about, and this may be one of my more negative segments. I usually don't like to be negative on this podcast, but I may have to be a bit for this one. But pretty much the JRPG that I would want is a Trails mobile game, and the reason why I'm saying it might be negative is because there actually is a Trails mobile game that came out recently. I believe it's called Trails of Cold Steel Northern War, or Trails Northern War, something like that, and it's pretty much based on the anime, which is of the same name, where they pretty much had an original cast, and it took place during the Northern War of Trails, which I believe is between Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, like somewhere around there. And the reason why I would want a Trails mobile game is because I think the Trails Northern War mobile game is complete ass. It sucks. Not only, like, it'd be one thing if I just didn't like it, which is fine, but I think, like, story-wise, gameplay-wise, quality-wise, music, like everything wise, it sucks. Now, to be fair, story, I can't fully base it because I played it for like a few days and I dropped it. For all I know, the story is fucking fantastic. I'm not sure, but I can confidently say that the quality of the app is bad. The combat of the app, I kind of don't even want to call it combat because you just don't even really get to play. It's just like, honestly, just kind of low tier garbage to me, which, like, I never want to say about a game. Like, I hate being negative, but, like, damn, this game just kind of sucks. And honestly, like, this sucks to say, but I feel like this game is going to shut down at some point, unless it is, like, very popular, which I doubt. But actually, you know what, I bet there's a world that it is popular. Dokkan is another game which I think the gameplay is kind of ass, but, like, Dokkan is fucking amazingly popular. And so maybe Northern War is very popular too, I'm not sure. But pretty much what I want to talk about is, if we were to have a proper Trails game, this is what I would want. And pretty much what I thought about is Trails can very much easily be ported to mobile, like in terms of what the game is, without compromising on anything. Because there's no first of all, you have games like Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves, which are full ass like JRPGs with real-time combat. So if you could have that on mobile, you can have Trails, which looks usually worse, at least the older games. They have a lot more simpler combat. You can have that on mobile easily. So in a perfect world, if there was a Trails mobile game, it would literally just be the Trails turn-based combat that we know on mobile, and probably just have an original story. While I'm not a fan of original characters, like even in the Northern War app or the Northern War game, like, while the original characters, like, I thought they were okay. Like, I don't think any of them I really like that much. Even the main character was kind of like, meh. I forgot who it is now, but I remember when I was playing it, I'm like, the main character just seems like another character that already exists. And so the original characters weren't that great to me. But if they want to do an original story with existing characters, I think that'd be cool. I don't know how exactly would they do that, if they want to do a non-canon thing or something, but do whatever they want. But at the end of the day, like, the actual combat of Trails of Cold Steel or whatever Trails game, like, you can just have that on mobile. It's turn-based. It's pretty simple. You have your arts, you have your crafts, you have your attack, your item. Like, you can easily fucking do that. And, like, honestly, even if they want to simplify it, like, if they want to remove, like, or not even remove, if they want to kind of gimp the movement to be more simpler on a grid-based thing, if they want to simplify the moves, like, sure. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, the actual combat for Trails is so perfect to be ported to a mobile setting that they didn't have to do what they did in Northern War. And if you don't know the way Northern War works, I guess I'll explain it. But, like, you don't actually fight. The way the battle system works is you place your characters on a board, a very small board, like, it's barely any choice. I think it was like 4x2 or something like that. You press play and then they fight automatically. You don't really get to do anything. I think the only thing you get to do, at least from when I played, is that you get to do your S-crafts, like your abilities, which are pretty much your ultimates. But even that, when you get to do it yourself, I found out it's actually better to just automate that too, because there'll be times where, like, I want to press my ultimate, but before I can even press it after it activated, my character would die because, like, the levels would be kind of hard. And so I realized that, like, I might as well just enable auto S-crafts too. And then at that point, I was literally just fucking watching the game. Like, I wasn't playing it anymore. And so the combat was just absolutely, like, horrendous in my opinion. And so I would, again, like I said, just have, like, the turn-based gameplay from normal Trails games. And honestly, like, if they even want to, like, they don't have to do one-to-one. They could simplify the battle system. They could simplify the graphics too, because even with how Daybreak looks now, Daybreak looks great. I think Trails to Daybreak looks fucking fantastic. But if they want, they can have that on mobile. Like, we have Genshin Impact, we have Zenless Zone Zero, we have Wuthering Waves, we have, like, Resident Evil. We have all these games on mobile now. They can put Daybreak on mobile if they want to. But honestly, even if they want to go back to, like, the Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 style, which is very, like, PSP looking, I'd be fine with that. Honestly, what I would love is, like, just use the art style you have of Trails in the Sky. Like, that chibi art style is so simple. That is literally perfect for mobile. I would love it. And honestly, it'd be really fucking cool to see modern characters in that style. Like, imagining you're playing like the mobile game, it looks like Trails in the Sky, and you pull Reen or you pull Van or some shit. Seeing them in the OG style, it would be fucking cool. And that's just a genius way to, you know, pay homage to the original art style, because the original art style is dying. The games don't use it anymore. Trails of the Sky is now being remade too. So like, at some point in the future, there's gonna be no point to ever revisit the old games unless like the remakes are very different. And so if they kind of take advantage of the style on mobile, that'd be a very fucking cool thing to do. And I mentioned this before too, because I feel like I've talked about this before from when I was looking forward to Northern War, of how I want it to be. But I mentioned that the Trails world is just fucking perfect for this type of gacha game. They have so many characters where, like, I mentioned this like a few times in the podcast already. Trails into Reverie alone, the playable party you had was like 40 plus characters. That's how fucking big it was, and that's just a playable character. So they have like hundreds of characters that you don't get to play as, and with Trails Through Daybreak you have like way more. Like, you have way more in Trails Through Daybreak, so you can have a pull system easily in this game. And I feel like this would be one of those rare IP where I feel like no matter who you pull, like, you wouldn't really be mad, because a lot of the times what these games do, like for example Dragon Ball Legends or One Piece, they'll have this thing where like you pull and they'll have like shitty tier characters. So in Dragon Ball that would be like Frieza soldiers or Kiwi or like whatever, like these shitty characters that you kind of don't want. Trails doesn't really have that. Like, even if you get like a slightly unknown character, I'd be like, cool, like I know that character, like maybe I'm not excited for it, but like it won't be like a grunt. Which is why it was mind-blowing to me where when I played Trails Northern War, they had a pull that I did, and when I got it, I literally got like a generic like Jaeger grunt, and I'm like, why? You have so many fucking characters in this IP. Why are you creating this grunt, this nameless, literally faceless grunt, and putting it in this game? And you know what? I forgot to even mention this. I forgot one of the most egregious parts of Trails Northern War, the game, was most of the characters literally don't have faces. Like, in the cutscenes, there will literally be, I believe it was just like a black silhouette. I'm like, what the fuck? And especially because a lot of these characters would be named. Like, you'll go into a village, and I'm just gonna make up a name, but like, say you're in a village and there's like a character named Freya or some bullshit. She will literally just have like a blacked out silhouette face. I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that? And the only time you'd actually see a character is when you have like one of the playable characters. And that's what I started to notice. Oh, the only time they would show a character's face is if they're playable, because for the playable characters, they had like this weird like motion sprite looking image. And so I guess they didn't want to have static images and like mess with that. But like, it's so weird. I'm like, you guys have generic villagers or NPCs in the normal Trails games. Just fucking use those. Like, what are you doing? Like, create like even like 5 generic NPCs and reuse those. Why are you using these blacked out silhouettes? Like, it makes no sense, especially if you're gonna go through the trouble of naming them. If they have a name, that means they're probably in the plot somehow. Then why the fuck are you blacking them out? It's so weird. Every decision with that game, it just seems odd, and the more I think about it, the more angry I get, so I'll try to chill out. But yeah, like I was mentioning, the pulls are perfect for a Trails game, and so not Northern War, but if they did a Trails game properly, it would be perfect. Keep the turn-based style, simplify it if you want. Do any art style you want, whether it be modern Trails, Cold Steel, or even better, just go stick to the Trails in the Sky style. That'd be amazing. But yeah, I just think it's just perfect. Like, the world is like ripe to do shit. Like, you can place it in any country you want, just play as a character, even if it's an original character, even if it's a customizable character, whatever you want. Just like, you have a fucking amazing combat system, use it. You have amazing art styles you can choose from, use them. Just do better. Like, it's absurd to me that this app came out and I'm like, this is Trails, bro. Like, Trails is gigantic and popular. Who gave this company the IP? But like, I won't go on longer. I don't want to rant too much. Like I said, I hate being negative on the podcast, but yeah, that is a JRPG I would look forward to, which is a Trails mobile game, but good.